get a wonderful food, and a great time, and enjoy the most traditional dishes from Peru. We have like a lomo saltado, we have ceviches, and ají de gallina, and seco de cordero, is lamb stew, and all made like really authentic Peruvian dish.
The foundation of Peruvian cuisine is from the native culture, from the Inca culture. With that came preparations from the Spanish, and eventually in the 1800s from the Chinese, Japanese, and Italians. People from all over the world come to this restaurant. Peruvians that are missing a little taste of home, Americans looking for a culinary adventure, and what I've noticed is a lot of people come from the Asian community to see how their dishes are reinvented in a Latin American style.
We have, authentic Peruvian cuisine, and I enjoy when the people enjoy the food. They like smile, when they leave it today. Thank you very much because the food is wonderful. I'm feeling happy because, and we got a good job.
So Vanessa, you said that Ay Picante brings us back to your roots. Tell us why you chose it.
Well, obviously I'm Latina, so there's a plethora of Mexican restaurants. I think Colombian restaurants, you'll find them all over the place. Peruvian, I don't think not so much. There's been a few, but Ay Picante is by far my favorite. I feel like I'm tasting my dad's cooking or family members in Peru. It's just delicious. If you want a little spice, like you said, a little flavor, you definitely need to check out Ay Picante.
How would you describe Peruvian food to somebody who's never had it?
Peruvian food, there's a ton of seafood. It's huge on seafood. We're big on potatoes, corn, a lot of peppers. It typically tends to be, more on the spicy end.
And some Asian influences like soy
Asian
sauce.
influence, African influence, specifically Chinese and Japanese. You'll see there's a lot of Asian influence in Peru.
So Frank, this was your first experience with Peruvian food. What did you think?
Correct. Overall, she's right. There's some good flavors, some good tastes. The ceviche I had was excellent. Ceviche mixto. The seafood was tender. I thought that was great. In fact, when they serve you with the bread and the dipping sauce, jalapeno, garlic, olive oil, salt, and pepper.
How heavenly is that?
It's excellent. So I get these two bold, intense flavors immediately presented to me, and I'm thinking I'm going to be blown away. But the meal itself was a little bit bland. We did the lomo saltado, which is
That is my favorite.
It was rice, steak, and French fries with some cilantro. And it could have been just that there was so much starch that it overwhelmed the meat. The other entree was lamb braised in a beer with some green peas. Some pieces were excellent. Some pieces, surprisingly enough, were a little dry. Otherwise, the flavor was there.
So, Tech, you like to get really adventurous with your food. What'd you think of Ay Picante?
Yeah, I'm with Frank with the ceviche. The ceviche mixed, I had the same one. The portion itself is large, very large, and I love that they threw in some sweet potato in it.
So the size of those corn kernels too.
Yes, the Peruvian corn.
Peruvian corn, yeah.
I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, my eyes just were like, am I seeing this right? Another dish that I had was the surf and turf. It was just a big plate, mashed potatoes, and a huge pile of seafood. My initial thought was, where's the turf? I don't see any steak at all. And it's underneath the pile of seafood. And just keep that in mind. You gotta really dig for the turf, but it's so worth it.
Vanessa, being of Peruvian descent, what are some classic dishes at Ay Picante that I just have to order here?
I have never had a bad lomo saltado from Ay Picante, or it's my favorite dish, Peruvian dish. That, I don't know if you guys got to try the papa la huancaína, it was on the appetizers. It was a potato. It's potatoes, sliced potatoes with like a cheese and pepper sauce. It's so delicious. I mean, it's not even like I'm trying to toot my Peruvian horn, but it is so good. There's arroz con mariscos, which is just rice with seafood. It's kind of very similar to a paella, I would say.
I was gonna order that.
Yeah, delicious. That menu is
a large menu,
but it's awesome. I mean, there's just so much. It's just so much, but that's just how much you get to choose from.
It's a little overwhelming.
I was just gonna say, I took the opposite side of that. I took the counterpoint. I thought that the menu was a little overwhelming. If you want selection, you're definitely gonna get it.
Vanessa, what typically is a crowd like? What's the atmosphere?
It's a cozy spot. It's really small. I mean, the painting, I don't know if you guys paid attention to like the Nazca lines, the Incan murals like on the wall. They have the music playing, so you get that cozy you know, quaint feel. The night that I went, there was a huge birthday party, tables behind me, date night right next to me. I was also having a date night with my fiance. All over,
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
Tech, who would you bring this time if you were to come back?
My wife.
Yeah.
When I went with a buddy of mine, and it was really dim, very, very dim inside. And for it to be just me and
So you're having
him.
a bromance.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I haven't seen him in a while, so it was great to see him. But yeah, I would have much preferred it to be my wife.
More of a
so.
romance rather than a bromance.
Yes, exactly. Next time it's going to be a romance for sure.
And the restaurant is BYOB. Frank, what did you bring?
I brought Terra Valentine, nice white wine, and you know, I thought the BYOB was great.
Yeah, and actually, they'll if you bring Pisco, they'll supply the sour. Pisco is a great brandy. It's sort of the national drink of Peru. And then you mix it with sour mix, sometimes egg white and dash of bitters, and it creates a wonderful cocktail called a Pisco Sour.
It's a fantastic drink. It hits the spot. I mean, you don't need too many to get the
gonna have
night
to try
going.
it.
That's why you
Definitely
drink it
try
and you go,
that.
ay picante.
Yes, a little spiciness. Yeah.
Well, Vanessa, you picked ay picante. Sum it up for us.
Great food, great flavors, plenty of options, great vibe, fun times.
All right, and Frank?
If you're looking for bold flavors and some interesting mixes of people and of taste, I'd recommend Ay Picante.
All right, and Tech.
If you're looking for great value, delicious food, great service, and a good mix of people, Ay Picante is definitely the place.
Well, you can experience the authentic Peruvian dishes at Ay Picante, 4569 North Elston Avenue, 773-427-4239. They're open for lunch and dinner daily. Reservations are accepted. Alcohol is BYOB, and the average tab per person is $25.